Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go to another incredible installment of Mixed Bag of Wrestling. Right now, I'm responding to the British Fist on their debate. What do you think about Brock Lesnar and Triple H and having a Brock and Triple H 2? Really, last year when I saw it, I was going through a lot of mess. So my perspective on it then is much different now. I'm not as stressed out as I was then. What I can remember looking at the match itself when they had it, it wasn't a great match at all. It was a crappy match. I'm not going to lie about it. The thing that made it worse was that when it was the next day in Raw, I didn't believe Triple H was going to be out for long. I didn't. And this is where the problem comes in. For this to work, if Brock is coming back to go after Triple H, I'd rather see, and this is what I'm thinking about, wouldn't it be better to see a Brock Lesnar, it gives me goosebumps, a Brock Lesnar and Undertaker match? Yes, I'm saying it now, and I'm going to put it in my title. Mixed Bag of Wrestling, Brock versus Undertaker. Now, I'm still going to talk about what probably won't work with the Brock and Triple H, but I'm going to give my thoughts on if Brock and Undertaker do it. I'm going to say it like this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 500-pound elephant out of the room first when it comes to Triple H and the Brock Lesnar. I don't believe many people are going to have that much interest. I don't even think many casual fans are going to have that much interest. The main reason I'm saying this is because last year was not done properly. You have Triple H losing to The Undertaker, which was a great match. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Even though that was the third match between those two. The problem is this. Because he lost that match and it was a end of an era match, there was no consequence. Just like Mr. Parkin said. There's no consequence. There was nothing to say that he was retiring. He didn't say that. He just said I have to evaluate it. Simply. When it came to Brock Lesnar, he broke Shawn Michaels' arm. Then he fights Triple H. Triple H comes back. His arm is better. But then he breaks it again. Triple H doesn't say, I'm quitting. That's it. It's just left in the air. So now if he's coming back again, and let's say this does happen, we have a second match between these two. How are they going to hype it? Because he F5'd Vince McMahon? Because Vince McMahon is about to basically get the fuck out to Paul Heyman? Really? It's not enough. It isn't. It would make sense if they had Paul Heyman calling Brock on the phone. Well, you could say he probably did because the Brad Maddox segments. But the thing is, it was far in between. You can't really say that happened. That happened weeks ago. At least a week before, 2 weeks before we found out that he was going to have a consequence. So there's no continuity with this storyline. For this to work, they're going to have to let Paul Heyman work on his own without CM Punk. This is where it's going to be a problem. Raw's coming out tonight. This is around 6 or 7 o'clock. No, 6:45 around now. Raw has not aired yet. If this is going to work, where they're going to try and hype some type of interest when it comes to WrestleMania, because I don't think they're going to do this in Elimination Chamber. If they have a Brock and a Triple H match at Elimination Chamber, will be absolutely stupid. Now, I did hear from Mr. Parkin that now Brock Lesnar has signed a 2-year contract, but this wouldn't make any sense to do this with Brock. He's a main event deal. If you make him go and work and possibly job or win at Elimination Chamber, you're wasting him. It has to be at WrestleMania. It's got to be. No matter if you think he deserves it or not. But here's the problem. If they do not have Paul Heyman splitted off from CM Punk, if this still involves CM Punk in some form or fashion, this won't work. Because Brock Lesnar cannot function without Paul Heyman. The catalyst for this entire situation is Paul. Paul has to talk for Brock. So Paul, like I said before, Paul must be split off from CM Punk. CM Punk has to go off and do something else or disappear for a while. That's what it's going to come down to. That's the way, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, must be structured for this to work. Because if you're going to have... it just irks me to think this match is going to happen. Because Brock could probably put on a good match. We know that Triple H can put on a good match if he's a heel. He's better as a heel when he does his matches. And we know Brock could do a good match. But putting these two together where Brock is the heel and you have Triple H as a face, you need both of these guys as heels to get over. And it's not going to happen if this happens. Particularly if Brock is not being talked for. He needs a mouthpiece for this to work. This won't work if Paul is not involved. So they must split off CM Punk. If CM Punk is still working with Paul Heyman and they don't make a catalyst for Paul to split off from CM Punk, like maybe you having Brock F5 CM Punk, now that might actually be something interesting. You actually could turn CM Punk face to face Brock because Brock fucks over CM Punk because he wants Paul Heyman. Now that would be an alternate I'm putting out there. But if this is between Brock and Triple H, if Brock is not spoken for, if someone doesn't speak for Brock, this is not going to end well. Now, what I said earlier, I'm bringing up. And I may bring up the CM Punk and how it should be played out, which I know they won't do it, but this is how it will play it out. First one will be Brock and the Undertaker. This is around the time when Undertaker would come back. So having a segment between Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar would make sense. Have it in the early part of the show, not early morning. Oh man, I just want to do this right, ladies and gentlemen. Simply put, if Paul still speaks for Brock, at least at first, just to say the reason why he's coming back, it'll be fine. You really don't need Paul Heyman with Brock for Undertaker. You need it for Triple H, not for Undertaker. Undertaker can come back at that moment and say he wants someone to face. He's already faced Triple H. I want you. This would make sense. Have Undertaker go after someone different. Because who else is he going to go after? Undertaker comes back once a year just for one match. Is he going after Triple H? If they structure Triple H going after The Undertaker, then what happens with Brock? So it has to be either Brock with Triple H or Brock with Undertaker. I'm hoping Brock with Undertaker. And he'll say pretty much, I don't like what you did. You fucked over the guy who pays my check. I'm coming after you. Or I want a challenge. I've already taken on Triple H. Now I want you. This would make perfect sense. And then if they do it properly, they can structure this right. Brock is not a good talker. We know that. Let The Undertaker do the talking. He's known to be a good talker. Let him be a face and take him on. Of course, Undertaker's better as a heel. But let him be face. He'll take on a huge challenge. And then we'll take him. I don't know if those two face one another at a WrestleMania. Not sure. Please leave a comment below to tell me if they did. If they didn't, it would actually be a good, refreshing twist. Come on. Just like I said, Undertaker with The Rock. I don't ever remember, and I don't remember anyone saying in my description, in my comments, that The Undertaker and The Rock had ever faced. I don't think they ever did. So if Brock faced The Undertaker, this would be a second time for him. But that's not a problem. It's something different. But if they never faced one another, dudes, come on. Wouldn't you want to see that? I don't want to see Triple H and Undertaker again. But then I don't want to see Triple H and Brock Lesnar again. Let's see something different. Let's see these two brawl in the ring. I want to see the triangle choke going up against the Fujiyama armbar or whatever type of move that Brock will throw out. Brock is a submission specialist in real life. We know that. Let's see The Undertaker, who only can do one submission move. One, I want to see him go after him. That would be a great match. Now here's the other twist. Like I said with Paul Heyman. Let's say Paul Heyman doesn't want CM Punk anymore and he's going to go for Brock, because we know Brock is going to stay for a while. Let's say that CM Punk feels screwed by him and then gets F5 by Brock. Yes, it'll be abrupt. Yes, it probably is obvious it would suck at first. But it would be better than what we've been getting. We've had CM Punk face in the beginning of that year, turn heel, and he became dead. Then let him go up against someone who's a heel, better than him. He's already gone up against Ryback. Do something. I don't think Ryback and CM Punk is going to be doing anything now. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd rather see CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. Two Paul Heyman guys going up against one another. That might be good movies. That might be good business. That will bring people in the seats. That's the reason why I said movies. A movie must have a good beginning, a good middle, and a good end to put the people in the seats. This is the same type of concept. You must come up with a good story that will be good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. Have Paul Heyman say, all right, Brock, I'll stick with you. Then CM Punk says, wait a minute, you're with me. And then you have Brock Lesnar getting angry. And then F5 in the fuck out of CM Punk. Turning Punk back into a face may not be one of the greatest prospects right now in the WWE, but it's one of the few they got. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen good storytelling from the WWE in the last 12 months? Sporadically, maybe. Normally, no. Out of 100% here, they're here. They were a little better before the election in 2011. By the time of the election, hit the ground, went to China, had some egg rolls, and came back for lunch. Honestly, that sounded a little stupid. It doesn't matter. But you get what I'm saying. I want to see this. This is better than what we got. That's 3 options we got. We could have Triple H and Brock Lesnar. Go, get away. Don't want it. But then we could have something more better. Something more interesting. And then we could have something that might be above mediocre. Counting on how they structure it. If they structure it good, it could be just as good. And I'm talking about the first one, which would be The Undertaker. That will probably be an epic match if it's structured right in the storytelling. If they put out the promos right. If they let these guys have a certain amount of time, not too much. And then you see Brock Lesnar having a couple of matches as tuna matches. The Undertaker doesn't have to do no matches. It's Brock who's got to prove. That would make great storytelling. CM Punk. That might be mediocre to maybe good. Counting on how they structure it. If they don't structure it properly to turn Punk face. If Punk does not get F5'd by Brock Lesnar and it's heel to heel, you're not going to get nowhere. You must have heel to face. Brock is a monster compared to CM Punk. Let him be what he is. Let him be the true Brock Lesnar we know he can. And then let's hear those words. Here comes the pain, baby. Let's hear that. Let's see it. Do the same thing as Undertaker. But for both of them. Brock Lesnar kicking the shit out of everybody. You need that. You want it, ladies and gentlemen. You need it. The Brock Lesnar we know we want. It has to be done. Then when it came to CM Punk, he could do a couple of matches. He's a way better talker than Brock. Let CM Punk talk the majority of the time. He will structure how the storytelling in the promo segments go. And then by the time of WrestleMania, then you got something. Then you got something. I know The Rock is going to Elimination Chamber. Yes, I understand it. I know people are saying, dude, you're forgetting about Rock and CM Punk Elimination Chamber. Yes, I know. I understand this. But it doesn't mean it has to be done all at once. It could still be an F5 done, but later. You could still have Brock Lesnar dealing with Paul Heyman. Let them both be together. And I'm talking about Brock. And I'm talking about pretty much Here Comes the Pain together the majority of the time before the Elimination Chamber. And then you fuck over Punk. That will give you a reason to have Punk go against Brock. It's a much better concept than seeing Brock and Triple H. I'm sorry. Look, if anyone likes seeing that match the first time around, let me ask you this. Did you actually think that match was structured properly? Because Brock was very sloppy. Triple H was very sloppy. There was no chemistry. There wasn't. Nothing. The ending sucked. And then the Raw the next day sucked. You can't honestly tell me that was great. It wasn't. There was nothing there. And if you actually think this is going to come out a second time better, that's a possibility. But do you actually want to take that chance? Seriously? Hope for one of the alternates. If we're going to be honest, it's obvious it's going to be Triple H and it's going to be Brock Lesnar. But you can still hope. You can still think that the WWE can still throw us a curveball, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. The British Fist, NJ and Mr. Parker and my friends. Hope and pray to whatever you pray to. I pray to the Great Spirit. I follow Native American belief. I know that you may be Catholic. Pray to God. Pray to your God very deeply on your knees. Pray to your God. Please do not let the Triple H and the Brock Lesnar match happen. And then pray to God again. If it does, let it be good promo so we won't be so bored. Please. That's what you can do. Now, I hope you enjoy this mixed bag of wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe and comment to Zane's View. I have to admit right now that I have a lot of things I need to do this week, so there might be a very big lag between now and when Raw is released. But I will release my Raw and do whatever I can for the next Debate of the Week or next Mixed Bag of Wrestling. Have a good night and take care and enjoy your Raw, ladies and gentlemen.